Hey YouTube family, how's it going? So guess what? I thought I've had enough of same old intros. So I thought let me just kind of spruce it up, and this is exactly what I mean. You are my family, the YouTube family. I care for you guys. Every day I think of the stuff that you would like, the stuff that would help you in your daily fitness regime or diet regime. So this is exactly what the intent of this channel, guys, that to come up with content, to come up with ideas, my experience in fitness, more than 10 to 15 years, which will help you make an informed decision about supplementation, fitness, diet, and the works. So guys, what are we talking about today, guys? There's so many questions that I get. First of all, I really want to thank each one of you for supporting this channel. From where we are in the last 2-3 months, this channel has completely taken on a different leap altogether. It would not have been possible without your support. I sincerely want to thank you for truly believing in this content, and I promise you all that I'll continue to help you with whatever be your fitness goal is. Yes, it may take some time because I get too many questions, but hey, I'm always there to help you guys. And also, if you see me now, do let me know how you like my new look. If you see this, because I don't, I love to experiment with my looks, guys. This is exactly what you really need to do. So here's a pro tip for you guys: be it your training, be it your fitness, be it your diet. Don't be hesitant to try out new things. Because what will happen? It won't work. At least you would know, and you'll be in a position to kind of tell yourself that what, hey, at least I tried. Similarly with your looks, with colors, with hairstyle, with anything and everything, guys. Do try to change things. Hey, but don't try to change your girlfriend, wife, or parents, guys. You can't do that, right? So don't do that. Only when it comes to yourself, do that. Okay. So let's quickly move on. And what exactly are we talking about today? I've been getting too many questions from you on training splits. Should I train one body part, or should I train two body parts in a day? Which one is more effective? What's your take on it? So guys, in this video, I'll be sharing my experience, and I'll be helping you. Should you be training two body parts in a day, or should you just stick to one body part? Now guys, my recommendation to you is, first of all, you really need to figure out your schedule. If your schedule allows you to train 6 days a week, then obviously you can train single body part. I'm the kind of person I keep changing things. So I'll tell you how I work in terms of how you can decide for yourself which training program will work for you, which split the double body part or a single body part will work for you. If you're one of those guys who've been gymming for about 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, idea for you should be to actually spend more time on a single body part, because what usually happens, or what usually happened with me, is that when you want to do two body parts, what typically happens is obviously you do the first body part, let's say back bicep. Back, you will obviously do it with utmost rigor, passion and stuff, but by the time you come to the second body part, A, your body is tired, 2, you're mentally drained, and 3, you've probably lost that motivation to kind of push yourself through. So that is exactly what I do. I did back then. I still do it once in a while to train one body part. At least it gives me that freedom to train that body part as much as I want to, because if you really want to develop a good body, you really need to spend quality time with one body part. And when you're doing one body part, guys, obviously your intensity has to be high, your weight has to be high in terms of how much weight you're lifting, plus you can concentrate more. You really don't have to think too much about the fact that, hey, I need to rush into things because I have a second body part to do, or I can't be spending too much of energy because I have to do my biceps also after my back. So that kind of helps. But if you are into 2-year-old, 3-year-old into the game, you've been training yourself, for almost 3 years, you've trained yourself, and you've kind of at an intermediate level wherein you've seen some growth on your body parts, and now you want to take up a notch, and obviously you want to give some more resting periods in between your workouts. You don't want to train 6 days a week, you want to train 4 days a week or 5 days a week, then it makes sense for you to do two body parts. Now, when it comes to two body parts, obviously, I'm the kind of guy who always tell people, whenever you're doing two body parts, always ensure that you do a bigger body part first. For example, if you plan to do back bicep, you can't be doing biceps first, guys. You have to do back first. Similarly, if you're doing chest and tricep, you have to do chest first. But some people also do arms on a single day, which means bicep, triceps. Always do triceps, guys. I'm going to be talking more about this subject, bicep, tricep, because this is the question that I've been getting from some of you. which is Tarun. When you have an arms day, you know, when you want to do your bicep, triceps and forearms, how should we start? Should we start with bicep or should we start with tricep? Guys, it's the same rule applies. You have to start, tricep is a bigger body part, you know, but what typically happens with us is because we love doing our biceps, because it's like, you know, whenever you want to show your body, what is the first thing you do? You flex your arm, right? You don't flex your tris. So that's why it's a natural tendency for you to do your bicep first, guy. But as a thumb rule, if you really want to grow your arms, do triceps first. You know, start with skull crushers, do tricep push down. You know, there are number of exercises that you can do for that, and then move on to bicep. And then probably in the end, you know, then you can do your forearms. If your forearms are weaker, you may have to spend some extra time in doing forearms to get those, you know, big boys, big guns out. Now, this is more about the arms, guys. Now let's talk about the splits. Like, you know, let's say you have only few days, let's say 3 days or 4 days. You have to see, one thing that I keep talking about is training has to fit into your lifestyle, not the other way around. If it doesn't fit into your lifestyle, guys, you know, or you have to make room for it, chances of you skipping or chances of you not, you know, being consistent with your workouts also a lot higher. So in the end, I'm only going to share one thing with you. I'm only going to tell you one thing, guys, that, you know, if you want to take your body to another level, if you are, you know, if you've been, you know, probably new in training or strength training, or, you know, less than 2 years, try to do one body part, single body part, and try to do it at least, try to cover it once a week at least. If you are an intermediary level, which means after 2 years you've spent doing that strength training, then probably, you know, you can do split body part, dual body part. But hey guys, there is no manual. I'm not saying you should stick to these guidelines. This is just for you to get some perspective, and obviously you can change things around as per your convenience, as per what works for you, guys. I'm only helping you as a ready reckoner, you know, and chances are, you know, some people even do 3 body parts a day. You know, I've seen guys, you know, they do chest and arms together. They do biceps. They do back and you know, legs together. I mean, there is no, you know, there is no set pattern as such. You know, you have to decide your pattern, what works for you, and I've done multiple videos on it, guys. So don't stick to one, you know, them. And if people were to try to tell you, listen to them, take their perspective, but do what works for you, guys. Remember, what may work for me may not work for you. What may work on X may not work on you. So you have to, that's why I said in the beginning of the video, you have to keep trying new things, whether it's your body, whether it's your hairstyle, whether it's your anything. The only way you'll grow is if you keep trying out. But yes, remember, when you're trying out new things, don't change things every now and then. You know, give yourself, you know, few weeks. For example, if you're changing your training program, don't be impatient and change it in a week's time. Give yourself 3 to 4 weeks, see how the body is responding. Similarly, in your diet, if you're following a specific diet, don't just, you know, in a week's time, I'm not getting any results. No, give yourself a few weeks. Similarly, if you're trying out a new supplement, give yourself another few weeks to see if that's working or not, because 1 week is too short, or 10 days is too short a time for you to figure it out if it's working or not. 10 days is anything. It's way too less for anything for you to gauge, you know, the effectiveness of the product or training program or diet program. So do give yourself time and be patient, guys. So I hope this video helps you. I hope, you know, you decide for yourself how you want to train, whether you want to train double body part or whether you want to train single body part. There is no manual as such. Again, I would summarize it for you. If you are 2-year-old in the strength training program, try doing one body part so that you develop that body part, and remember, focus on your lagging body part. If your chest is your weakest body part, which in my case it was, and sometimes it is, you know, big depending on my chest fat, I focus more on it. I try to hit that area at least more than what I would hit other body parts, so that I develop that area. It's not lagging anymore. But remember, it's very easy for us to start training the already strengthened area, because some guys love working on their bicep, and they end up doing bicep almost 2 to 3 times a week, which is not really required, because your biceps anyways are going to get worked on, whether you do shoulders, whether you do, you know, any strength training program that you will do. So I hope this video helps you. Any one of you have any questions around this, feel free to reach out to me either on my Facebook, YouTube or Instagram, and I'll be very happy to help you with your training split goals, anything that you may have on it. So until we meet again, peace.